Incognito from NCIS Origins Season 1, Episode 6, frequently alludes to being in a box. The episode aims to highlight the challenges faced by Lola Dominguez, a female NIS agent in 1991. Unfortunately, in 2024, that narrative is less compelling. Additionally, there is a far stronger theory behind that is never revealed. Incognito is supposedly about a petty officer who was murdered after he took confidential documents from his workplace. The episode first concentrates on Lala's personal issues before Leroy Jethro Gibbs goes undercover for the first time. Thus, the case of the week is mostly window decoration. Out of these concepts, only one fully takes off. Despite its excellent intentions, the storyline fails to produce any tangible outcomes. Anyone who watches a lot of TV crime dramas will recognize some of the storylines or plot components that NCIS Origins has used thus far in the season. Incognito comes after Last Rites, the fifth episode of Season 1, which had a highly predictable story about a killer in prison playing with Mike Franks. Although the authors should be commended for their attempt to develop Lola Dominguez's character, it is disheartening that they do it in such a blatant manner. Stories concerning the challenges of being a woman in a world dominated by men have been widely presented to audiences, and not just in crime dramas. Numerous other female characters have also been given this storyline at some time. There is a bit of a catch-22 because Origins has demonstrated that it wishes to capitalize on the disparate viewpoints that prevailed in the early 1990s, when the program is set. In All's Not Lost, the fourth episode of Season 1, viewers witnessed that when Franks assured Mary Jo Hayes that she would be able to connect with a witness since they were both black. However, Incognito is more uncomfortable than captivating, especially when considering the historical period. From having a casual encounter to get away from her troubles to hearing chauvinistic remarks in the locker room, Lola has to cope with cliché after cliché. People end up speaking for her a lot, which is another odd aspect. Later, Vera Strickland delivers Lola an almost embarrassing monologue on fitting in, after Olda Gibbs recounts how Lola informed him how she felt about her life. The episode ends just as Lola is about to say her crucial part, which is to confess to her lover Eddie that she cheated on him with a man she met at a nightclub. These decisions ultimately serve to strengthen the bad concepts that the episode is meant to challenge. The issue is not that sexism couldn't occur in the early NCIS episodes. Rather, it's the way the topic is handled. And may Lola have received a less cliched story. Incognito would have been better served by concentrating on its secondary plot, which is Gibbs's first undercover mission with NIS and his lack of skill at it. His lack of expertise gives this section of the novel a fresh vibe. Even if Lola's tale is unsatisfying, the episode gets credit for not introducing needless sexual tension by utilizing the fact that she and Gibbs are pretending to be a relationship. Instead, the audience witnesses her attempting to educate him on the numerous minor nuances he is unaware of. Giving TV characters the chance to develop is fantastic, particularly in a series when the characters are supposedly just starting out in their careers. This may have been two episodes for NCIS Origins, one about Gibbs failing or almost failing the covert mission, and another about Lola. The latter works because the viewer can understand the mistakes made. He doesn't abruptly lose his sense of direction to further the story. Furthermore, he is not the only one who makes mistakes. As is common in every TV crime thriller, when an outside agency enters the scene, the FBI agents are mostly there to irritate the team, but it is their fault that the NIS agents aren't carrying the appropriate amount of cash. Additionally, rather than whining about the issue his guys caused, the lead FBI agent at least makes an effort to assist in fixing it. Fans also got to see Cliff Wheeler outside of his office because the bureau has to be brought in. Gibbs gains knowledge from Season 1, Episode 6, and Lola has the opportunity to provide him with more mentoring. The fact that Incognito undermines their sincere bonding moment at the conclusion of Last Rites, when she told him about his psychological evaluation, by having her imply that Gibbs was just overly protective of her because she is a woman, is frustrating. Their covert sequences are examples of how they improve one another. Although NCIS Origins is making an effort to give each character their own turn to shine, Gibbs is currently receiving the most chances to truly change. Skipping or rushing through story elements in order to get them out of the way is one terrible habit that NCIS Origins is forming. This problem is not specific to this series. It occurs on many procedurals. For example, in FBI Season 7, Episode 8, Riptide, Ella was developed following a plot point concerning Maggie Bell's difficulties juggling her work and home obligations. However, since it's never good, Origins will want to quit the practice. Since the individuals in Incognito are not given any depth and the case is swiftly closed in a dialogue between Franks and Wheeler, in which Wheeler discloses that the villain confessed, the case of the week is really merely a way to fill up airtime. The program still struggles to strike a balance between showing enough time to tell fully developed mysteries and making time for the character development moments at once. Hopefully, it will become easier with time, but it's crucial to become proficient, especially considering the show's concept. Years after Mark Harmon departed NCIS, if Origins want to highlight the significant cases and events that shaped Leroy Jethro Gibbs into the beloved character he remains, the cases must have a sense of significance and be sufficiently well written to influence the viewer. This is basically one of Gibbs' best works, not merely a crime drama about a novice agent. The tale of the week in Incognito also need more color. This is a failure on nearly every level, from the shallow narrative to the poor way Lala's tale is told. It's more enjoyable and memorable to see the characters learn and improvise on the job than anything else it tries to teach.